CBS Sports HQ's training camp coverage is presented by PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. The Cardinals coming off back-to-back 4-13 seasons. Quarterback Kyler Murray only played 8 games last season after an ACL injury in 2022. But how has Murray been progressing through camp so far? Let's send it out to Glendale for more.
Jonathan Jones, CBS Sports, alongside Arizona Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray. Kyler, thank you, number one, for joining us. And second of all, I remember being here about this time last year, and you were still recovering and rehabbing the injury. Outside of the obvious of how healthy you feel, what's sort of the biggest difference as you enter year 2 with this offense and how comfortable you can be with this offense?
Yeah, I would say you kind of hit it on the head. I would say just being comfortable, knowing what to expect. Kind of last year, obviously rehabbing, trying to get as much meeting time in with the guys as much as possible. Coming out here watching practice versus now, being in practice, being able to get those, those reps, they're valuable. Whereas last year was just mental. So playing half of the season last year, kind of get into a groove that, we felt like we got into, playing high-level football in the back end of the season. So going into the offseason, man, it was easy for me to just continue to work to improve on what we had obviously accomplished at the end of the season. So now, man, this camp has been great so far. Very comfortable. Obviously with the addition of Marv, a couple of linemen, Trey Benson, Tip Ryman, but man, I'm excited. The offense is gelling well. The guys are. I'm seeing what I need to see right now.
Are we going to see you now fully healthy running around like you were in 2020? Or are you going to, I don't want to call it protect yourself a little bit more, but career longevity being more of a focus, if you will?
No, I mean, like, now being healthy, I felt like in the back end of the season, obviously coming off the injury, just trying to get my feet wet, obviously trying to do my thing and ball, of course, but play within the system. And I think, in the past years, if we're being honest, I was kind of a lot of the rush, our run game. So it was kind of a necessity in a sense. Now being in a system where I don't have to do all those things that I did before, which I'm fine with doing. But I think the rushing will happen when it happens. Obviously, me being healthy now going into this year, will I be able to do it more? Yeah, probably. I would obviously love to, get icky in the open field and stuff like that. But time will tell. I think last year, there was times I'm in the game and, I'm having to think, and not to say it wasn't successful, but there's times you can't play at your elite peak if you're out there thinking, you know what I'm saying? So that's what came with being injured, which was understandable. But now it's not, there's no thinking, we're just going out there and doing and working on what we're working on, fine-tuning all those things and the details. But I'm excited, man. This offense, I put no limitations on this offense, and I know, people are sleeping on us, but it is what it is,
Think less, do more. Kyler Murray put no limitations on the offense. As we take a look at some numbers here, Kyler Murray 5 straight seasons, averaging 200 passing yards per game and 30 rushing yards per game, tying Cam Newton for the longest such streak in NFL history. CBS Sports HQ's training camp coverage is presented by PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. The Cardinals are coming off back-to-back 4-13 seasons. Kyler Murray only played 8 games last season after an ACL injury in 2022. But how has the quarterback been progressing through camp so far? Let's send it out to Glendale, where CBS lead NFL insider Jonathan Jones has more.
It was a light practice and a little bit of a hot day, but they were indoors at State Farm Stadium. The Arizona Cardinals were, you couldn't really tell a lot because it was a lighter practice for them. But I'll tell you what I learned from so many people with this Cardinals organization. The thing that stands out to them, the maturation, the growth, the leadership of quarterback Kyler Murray. This is a guy who, when the facilities were closed on the weekends in the offseason, he gathered the guys up and they went to a local high school to get in work out on the field. Took them out, all expense paid trip to Southern California, about a dozen of them. They went to ball games together. This is important about camaraderie, about building bonds with guys on this team. This has been a team, the Arizona Cardinals, and a quarterback in Kyler Murray, where he didn't feel like he could necessarily do that. He was the young guy on a team full of veterans, and now at 26 years old, with guys that he can bond with, that he relates to a little bit more, he told us that really matters. I don't know that he's going to be the 2020 Kyler that ran all over the place plays, 50 yards per game rushing. I think he's going to save his legs a little bit more, and frankly, he can because he has James Conner, who just had a career year last season, 5 yards per carry, and he has Marvin Harrison Jr. to throw the football to. A specimen, Kyler Murray called him to us earlier. This is a guy who is absolutely going to lead the team in receptions and receiving yards. Look for tight end Trey McBride to probably be that number 2 pass catcher, followed by Michael Wilson. Meanwhile, on the defensive side, this is a team that absolutely is going to have to rush the passer, affect the passer much better than it did last season. I think it was a bit of a talent deficiency last year, but they go out in the first round and they get Darius Robinson to help their pass rush. They do believe some help along the interior of the defensive line is going to assist them, and they shouldn't be playing from behind as much as they did last year when they didn't have Kyler Murray for the first half of the season. This is a group that I don't know that they're going to sneak up on people because they played a lot of very good teams, a lot very difficult. Look, this was a group that of their 4 wins, 3 of them came against teams that played in the playoffs. I don't know that the Cardinals, that head coach Jonathan Gannon, believe in momentum, but if they can capture how they defeated the Pittsburgh Steelers in December, how they beat the Philadelphia Eagles late in the season and carry that over into 2024, this is a team that may surprise a lot of people. Jonathan Jones, CBS Sports.
Surprise, surprise, as we take a look at some numbers. 200 passing yards per game and 30 rushing yards per game. Well, Kyler Murray, he did that in 2023. He's just the 3rd quarterback in NFL history to average 200 passing yards per game, 30 rushing yards per game in 4 consecutive seasons.